So Cameron has turned on true Conservatives, and he's not the Conservative Party.
And suddenly Melanie is assuring me that I'm now in a Conservative Party that is more left-wing.
You are. You certainly are.
It has been for a long time.
You certainly are.
I wish it was, don't you, Ken?
I was never regarded as left-wing in the past. I was the mainstream Conservative of 20 years ago. I've served under 4 Prime Ministers. I started in politics under Macmillan. I won't go on about that. But the idea that the current Labour Conservative Party has swung to the left is quite the most... Even Bob Crow again would agree with me, I'm sure. It is quite the most remarkable thing I've ever heard. We've always had a noisy right wing. There used to be Knights of the Shire. I'm afraid when we were joining the European Union, it was the League of Empire Loyalists that used to turn up and disrupt my meetings, and they used to say we were betraying the country and letting foreigners in and all this kind of thing. But going back to the question, Eastleigh, when I was in the Thatcher government, for a time I was junior, I used to be put on by-election specials. And night after night, I never had a winner. I mean, no governing parties gained a seat since the early 1980s. And in mid-term, you always have this. Now, the first thing that happened in Eastleigh was a party of the government actually won and held its seat. We weren't very good at that when we were in office as Conservatives in the 1980s. We both declined.
Liberal Democrats
won. Now, the party, there was a big protest. Now, I don't dismiss that. I'm not using that word dismissively. But the people of Eastleigh didn't vote because of the Bulgarian hordes, apart from the more vulnerable ones. So they actually were discontented with the political class, because we had a lot of scandals recently, and they think the Parliament has mishandled it, and they blame politicians for the present trouble. And they are in serious economic problems. Everybody's having their living standards
seem to be more Liberal Democrat scandals.
Well, the idea that, I mean, there's had a sad case today of somebody fiddling his driving points. The idea that somehow that shows the Liberal Democrats are all not to be trusted with their driving licences, or vote Labour, they're better with their driving, their speeding points. It's just a personal thing. I think, now, some of the protests is just anti-protest, and a lot of the voters were people who are not voting at all recently. They've got out of the habit of voting. Now, in Italy, they have Beppe Grillo, and to be fair, if I have to have either Beppe Grillo or the Nigel Farage, I'll take Nigel Farage. He's less of a clown.
What about Diane James?
About Diane James, certainly, but and not Silvio Berlusconi either. So they had a total rejection. But at the moment, UKIP, which only has policies, which I rather agree with you, are a bit nasty sometimes, on Europe and immigration, they have no sensible policy on any other subject. They're the things they headline, actually are capturing all the people who just are saying a plague on all your houses. And of course we must address that. We must continue to show strong, competent, courageous government and get across to people that it's going to take a long time to get a modern competitive economy, and we're reforming this country. We're going to try to reform Europe so that we stand up better in the modern world against all the new changes we've got. A lot of big political challenges of the world as well. Okay. Actually putting UKIP in charge of the Syrian crisis if you put them in government. So people are entitled to protest.
Why do you say that?
Well, because people, it isn't...
What do you mean fancy putting them in charge?
It isn't a governing party. These are people
not there yet, are they?
Who know what they're against and they don't know what they're for.
Oh, all right.
And they know how to...
Okay.